Hello viewers of Afrin 1. Welcome to a new episode of the Political Views program. President Joe Biden won the election, but several occasions still remain pending. What will be the fate of Syria? How will a solution to the Kurdish issue in Rojava be achieved? In addition to that, how will the oil stocks in the eastern Euphrates be handled? There are many questions to ask my guest, Mr. D.إحسان عفريني from Washington. Welcome, sir. First of all, what impact does President Joe Biden's victory in the American election have on the Kurdish issue in Syria?
Look, President-elect Biden, let's be clear, descending from an institutional system. All his life has been running public offices on the domestic and international level. Unlike his predecessor, President Trump, President Trump coming from a business arena, whereas all his strategy contradict with American vision toward the world on global economic equilibrium and balance of power. Regarding your question, the Biden's victory impact on Syrian Kurdish issue, since Turkey's Islamist system in the main, considered as a main threat to the Western Kurdistan first. President-elect has clearly announced that he will put a plan to empower Turkish opposition to the level to make sure the opposition will defeat the Islamic regime in Turkey. This first. Secondly, let's don't forget that President-elect Biden, during his vice presidency with President Obama, he who proposed a plan of a partition of Iraq. So Iraq has to be divided into 3 independent states, since the federal system didn't work among Iraqis. I think he will first try to back up for a federal state system to Syria. If that plan will face with the refusal from Syrian opposition, as well from Syrian regime, I think he will go with a similar solution for as for all Iraq. As for Iraq.
Was President Biden's threats to hold the Turkish President Erdogan accountable just propaganda, or do you think that he will keep his promise? Will America's influence either militarily or politically in the Middle East be extended?
Look, let's go back to President Obama's policy toward Turkey. In his presidency, never allowed to intervene militarily in any region. Turkey extended its arms just after President Trump came to the White House. Turkey being used just for logistical aids and as a corridor to supply Syrian opposition with arms and ammunition. Therefore, I think President-elect Biden will try to stop Turkey to intervene in regional countries militarily, and will make sure withdrawal of Turkey from Syria and Libya. Regarding the second part of your question, looks, if you read well the American history, we will see always America has adopted diplomacy in solving conflicts among parties. However, whenever diplomacy doesn't work, of course, America has to protect its interests first, and secondly, will make sure the security of its allies in any part of the world, even if it has to intervene militarily.
What will happen to Afrin in the next 3 years, according to the American administration? Will there be agreements regarding sharing the power? Will Turkey continue to invade Afrin? Will they even remove Syrian mercenary factions?
I think the next administration will demand the full withdrawal of Turkey from northern territory of Syria. However, we might see some coordination between Turkey and Russia. On one side, for example, Turkey will hand some territory to Russia and Syrian regime in order to get Russia back to back up to Turkey to remain in Afrin. I said, yes, Russia will back up in order to get some territory from Turkey, you know. However, like for Turkey, Afrin is a strategical territory, you know. That's Turkey considering that Afrin is going to be a corridor for the Kurdistan, the future of the Kurdistan, to the Mediterranean Sea. You know, that's why in order to not allow Kurdistan's oil or gas go through the Kurdistan territory, which is Afrin, is the closest part to the, we all know that Kurdistan is a landlocked territory, you know? So the only way to get into the sea, it's through Afrin, you know? That's why Afrin for the Turkey is a very strategical territory, you know? And Turkey has many cards to play, you know? For instance, to withdraw from Sarikani and Greece, or from Libya even, you know, in order to secure its presence in Africa. The international community, including US, including a new administration, is gonna use an ultimate pressure on Turkey to withdraw those Islamist faction from, or Islamist mercenaries from Afrin and other regions. Right. There is some movement. Turkey is starting to removing some of their faction from the areas, those areas, you know. So I think Turkey is gonna withdraw, and it's from Greece and other places.
Regarding the oil in the Euphrates region, what's your opinion on sharing the oil in that area? And what's the role of the Syrian Democratic Forces and the Democratic Union in this matter?
Look, regarding the sharing of oil quotas, of course, depend on future of Syrian system. If it remains as a central power, Syria remains a central power as now, sure, everything will go back to central government. If it happened and Kurds with its allies could convince the West and Russia of forming a new federal system to Syria, at that point, as any province in any country in the world will get its share of oil and the rest will go to the federal government. About Syrian Democratic Forces and PYD, they will try to push for federal system to northeastern Syria, but it's going to be very hard to do by themselves. They really need to form a unity with the Kurdish National Council, KNC, in order to succeed. I will be very transparent here on this issue. America, on intelligence and military level, are very satisfied with SDF and PYD. However, on the political and diplomatic level, not favored one, you know, because of their far left ideology. Their ideology close to communist ideology, whereas the West and America fought them for more than 70 years. Look, American vigilance on Kurdish administration in northeast Syria is very clear since 2014. They heavily involved with France and other Western countries to unite both main forces on the ground, but they failed. As I mentioned before, America will never support SDF and PYD to run the region without KNC. And America and Western countries, yes, they are for a Kurdish self-administration region in northeastern Syria. They are supporting.
At the end of this episode, I would like to thank you very much, Mr. İhsan عفريني, for participating in this interview. Thank you also, dear viewers, for watching today's interview. Goodbye.